Yes, the social media does create issues for us as judges. Uh, Much of what goes on in the court is a dialogue between the bench and the bar. So you have social media which is commenting on the merits of the guilt of the accused, and the case is still under investigation by the police.
In today's world, where the social media, every case before it lands your desk is widely debated, discussed, majority of the time. And I think once it lands your desk, how do you insulate yourself of something that you would have read about the case, you would have a point of view as you start going into the complexity of the case, because most of these are very, very challenging, complex cases. How do you keep that sort of a point of view, may not be a bias, aside, to be so focused on that? Because as a business leaders, that's a very, very important and a rare skill, not easy to come by. Thank you.
Thank you.
You know, before the advent of the social media, typically as judges, we would have 4 or 5, a half a dozen journalists in our court. With social media, we have 1 million journalists, you know, who are live reporting on what's happening in the court virtually by the minute, not at the end of the day. So that just sums up what we have to encounter. Well, I don't think you have a choice. Technology is no longer a choice, and therefore social media is not a choice. I mean, we're working in a society where we have the prevalence of the social media. Yes, the social media does create issues for us as judges. Much of what goes on in the court is a dialogue between the bench and the bar. So very often, you know, you have 2 types of judges. You have judges who play the devil's advocate, who tell the lawyer why they are wrong in the proposition which they are making to draw out the best of the lawyer. And then you have another type of judges. The second type is judges who would restate what the lawyer is saying and take it to its logical conclusion. Very often what happens in the social media is when you say something in the court, somebody who's not in the court but is reporting something which the judges are saying, take what the judge is saying as a possible judgment of the court. And that creates a problem, because what is being debated in the court is a debate. It's not a verdict, or it's not a point of view. What I say in the course of arguments may not even, in fact, be the line of final conclusion which I'm going to take, but which I'm testing for the purpose of a dialogue. That is a problem. The other area of social media which is a cause of very grave concern is criminal justice administration, because the evidence which will come at the course of the trial is yet to be recorded. And there's a presumption of innocence, which we in the common law world follow, in the US as in India, or in the UK, or in Australia, which is that no accused is presumed to be guilty, and guilt arises only after a trial is concluded and judgment is delivered and the person is found guilty. But very often at the stage of investigation, when even a charge sheet has not been submitted to the court, you have social media which is commenting on the merits of the guilt of the accused, and the case is still under investigation by the police. When that case comes up before a court of first instance, there's a grave danger of justice being deflected. Well, it's easy for me as a judge to say that, well, we are trained to exclude all those ideas from our consideration, and to a certain extent that's right. I read the newspapers, and I'm not on Twitter, or I'm not on X or on Facebook, but I certainly am trained to keep my reasoning as a judge distinct from what is expressed in the media. But I'm not sure that's so with the prevalence of the electronic media. A trial judge who's hearing a case is already flooded with news, views, even at the stage of investigation, which takes us into broader areas as to whether there should be some form of regulation or whether self-regulation is the correct thing. Very serious questions for the functioning of, for judges. But I think, yes, the way we are going at present is to ensure that we train our judges to be cognizant of the challenges which new technologies, and particularly the social media, impose on us and our work. Because we need to train judges. For instance, I was not born as a judge, or for that matter, as a lawyer in the age of the social media. So many of us who are now part of the system just need to be trained. We need to reskill ourselves. We need to be more conscious about what we say in court when we are live streaming our proceedings, because we're likely to be misconstrued.